Hello everybody, my name's Jack Souder. I'm going to be talking to you guys about the baby boom. So, next slide please. So agenda, first just talk about population growth in general, and then some facts about World War II, so you guys can get a sense of what time frame we're looking at. And then what is the baby boom and how the baby boom is affecting our society today. So, next slide. Okay, so this is a graph. Over here it shows population by millions, and so I put in here a straight line of best fit, which basically that represents if we increased our population every year by 2 million, so just by a set number, so set number of people. So like after 2016 we gained 2 million people. So next slide please. Oh yeah, actually go back. Sorry, I forgot something. And the R2 on this is 98 or 0.98, which is really good. The best you can have is 1, so that's very good. Okay, so here I put exponential line of best fit, which is basically instead of going up by a number each year, I went up by percent growth, which is 1.26. So it goes up by 1.26 every year, and the R2 on that is 99. So this is an annual growth rate line graph. So it basically just shows how the growth rate fluctuated throughout the years. If you haven't noticed yet, you can see a big difference from here, how it's kind of boxy, and then here, how it gets jagged. That's because before the 1960s, the growth rate was actually, or population was actually estimated on growth rate, because they just did census every 10 years, so they had to estimate. So it's the same growth rate for every 10 years until the 1960s. And you can see here that right over here, which is in the 1940s, you can see it start to spike up again, and then after it stays like that for 10 years, because that's what we estimated to, and then in 1950s, it spikes up again, and then goes back down to average. So that right there is the baby boom that I was talking about again. So, this is just the growth rate from the 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s. So here you can see that the growth rate was 0.7%, or 7%, so 0.70%, and then that was in the 1930s, and then in the 1940s there was a huge increase, which is the start to the baby boom, that brought us up to 1.36%, very big increase, and then again in the 1950s was another spike, that brought us up to 1.76. Okay, so war, as we all know, is commonly associated with guns and death and blood and everything, but sometimes in relation to the baby boom, after war can be associated with life and gain of population for the loss. So some facts about World War II, which is where the baby boom took place, and kind of right after World War II. So World War II lasted from 1939 to 1945. Over 6 million people were killed, and that's about 3% of 1940's total world population. So, a lot of death. Next slide, please. So post-World War II baby boom, some facts about the baby boom. So the baby boom lasted from 1946 to 1964, and in 1946 there was 3.4 million babies born in the U.S. in just that year. That's a very big amount of babies. And then between the years 1953 and 1964, there were about 4 million babies born in the U.S. And the reason for this, there are a couple different theories, but the one that really sticks out and has been kind of proven most often is that soldiers coming back from World War II, they came back, they wanted to make a family, settle down, so that's why there was just such an increase in babies. And the baby boom lasted for 22 years, and in those 22 years, 74.6 million babies were born. Okay, so population summary. The average population during World War II was 136 million. Average population during the baby boom was 166 million. and the population increased by 3 million people during the baby boom. So we gained 3 million people. So baby boomers, which are the people that were born, that's their generation title kind of. That's the people that were born during this baby boom period. They're called baby boomers. So baby boomers make up about 26% of our total population. Baby boomers actually led the protests in Vietnam, so kind of that time period when they were in like 20s, or they were like 20 years old, so in the 60s. In the 60s, baby boomers were labeled as nonconformists, which for those of you that don't know what nonconformists are, nonconformists are known for going against social norms. So, and they were often known for their open sexual tendencies and experimenting with drugs. So, yeah, so basically, in like layman terms, they're like your classic hippies, kind of that generation. So, like, long hair. So, next slide, please. How has the baby boom affected our society today? Too many people are retiring, so since they're all grouped into basically, they're all relatively the same age, there's so many people going into retirement that we simply just don't have enough money in our Social Security fund, so to give them retirement money. And also, young people aren't working not a lot of them are working, so they can't contribute to the Social Security fund. So it's hard to pay them off. So baby boomers are being forced to be provided by their kids, because they don't have the money to support themselves in retirement. Next slide, please. Okay, so I have a quick video on the baby boom. I think you can click on it. I'm not entirely sure, but you might have to copy and paste it. Let's see that. Let's see. That's it. I think you might have to copy and paste it.
He's got to get out of the presentation mode.
Sorry, I thought you clicked on it. And Mr. Smith, if you'd be willing, I'm going to test you really quick. Could you pause it right when you see some question marks in the video?
Baby boomers are a designated group of people who were born between 1946 and 1964. They are labeled as baby boomers because during this period of time there was a statistically significant increase in the number of births that occurred. In 1946, the first year of the boom, there were 3.4 million babies born in the U.S., a record number during a one-year period. These numbers steadily increased to roughly 4 million babies born each year between 1953 and 1964. By the end of 1964,
I didn't do any.
Alright, that's fine. We don't need the video. I can explain some stuff, but so that video basically kind of just summed up everything I was saying, had a lot of the same statistics that I was including in my presentation. So yeah, so that's the baby boom basically. There's a thank you slide, but we don't need to try to get back to that. So yeah, thank you guys.